Welcome to the To All the Girls Success Club. So, I have a special guest this morning, Dr. Nadine Joseph Collins. I'm going to bring her on in a while, but I usually go live on the morning this time in the To All the Girls Success Club. So, if you're watching me on any other platform, YouTube, I know any of my other pages on Facebook and also on Twitter, you might not be privy to this kind of inspiration on a morning. So, you need to head over to Facebook and join the To All the Girls Success Club. Of course, if you're a girl, okay? But welcome, everybody. We usually begin with our confessions because we want to tell ourselves and remind ourselves of who we are. So you are blessed and highly favored. You are above only and not beneath. You are the head and not the tail. Favor surrounds you like a shield. You have nothing missing and nothing broken. How does that feel? As a way to start your day every single morning. And we always say here, these are the general ones. In terms of your life, you should have your confessions about the things that you see in your future that God has spoken to you about. And it's very fitting that my guest this morning, Dr. Joseph Collins, will be speaking about finding your purpose. You might be maybe 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, whatever. I don't think it's ever too late for us to find purpose. And so I'm going to invite my friend and an international speaker, a coach, an author. And she always lights up my conference To All the Girls in October. She's done it twice before, and she's going to be doing it again in October. Nadine, good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning. I'm fine, thanks. You're very perky for a
Oh my
very
gosh, yeah,
early
this is my
morning on
time,
your
girl.
end.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. You know how it goes. So how you doing? Tell me, which part of the world are you in right now?
I am in Barbados at the moment,
Yeah,
so
I saw
I've
you.
been enjoying the Caribbean weather. I'm
Yeah.
excited about that.
How was your conference?
Yes.
I know you were there presenting at a big conference, walking again in your purpose.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did a few speaking engagements here
Hmm.
because it's Women's Month.
Hmm.
So I did some stuff with a group of women who are considered disadvantaged that the government actually kind of takes care of. That was my first appointment with the Ministry of Strengthening Families. So they usually serve about 200 women. We probably had maybe over 50 or more of them in a room, and it was
Wow.
really good to just be talking to these group of women about purpose,
Mm.
because that's what I was invited to speak to them about,
Wow.
and just reminding them that even though they're on social welfare and they're receiving government assistance, that they're still here in the world not by chance, but they have something to do. And so it was really electrifying to deal with that group,
Hmm.
talking to them about something that I usually speak to women who are qualified and successful about.
You're
Yeah.
right. I know you did that for me. It's one of the reasons I keep on inviting you back to my programs because you were instrumental. It let me see certain things. And just like a sniper, I always love to give that analogy. Go in like a sniper with a scalpel and just do what you're supposed to do and come out. That's what you did. So we're talking
Yeah.
about purpose today, Nadine. And hey, folks, if you're out there, please say hi to Nadine. And if you're watching this on the replay, type replay. Let us know that you're catching it later, which is all fine and everything. So, first question, Nadine, is how would you define purpose?
Purpose. A lot of times, Lisa, and I believe that you would have that background as well. When
Hmm.
you grew up in the Caribbean, you're taught to go to school, we're
Right.
told that you need to
Hmm.
go to school, you need to get good grades.
Getting power?
Um, yeah, I just want to make sure that nothing goes wrong here.
I,
Yeah.
I know, right?
So, yes. So sometimes when we were growing up, they would say to us, especially if you're from the Caribbean, practically almost any Caribbean island, the focus would always be on going to school, getting a good job.
Hmm.
No, no, no. Going to school, getting good grades. And so there is this competitive factor about even which school you attend, which high school you attend. Then it's about getting good grades. And sometimes that was based on what class you in, whether you were in class A or B or C, them kind of classifications. And after that, they would say to you, okay, you need to go to the next level. And usually in the Caribbean context and in other parts of the world, there is this advanced level, and it's much more competitive to get into these levels.
Hmm.
And then they say, you get a good job. Back in the day, there was not the heavy focus on college, except for those who had money. And so, in essence, what we were taught indoctrinated to believe as children is that we need to go to school, we need to get good grades, apply ourselves by getting these good grades and get a good job, and that is the beginning of your success.
Mm-hmm.
Then there
Mm-hmm.
were other factors, again, added to these, especially for women, where, for example, they would tell us about getting married. And so I haven't forgotten the question. There's a reason why I'm actually laying this
Oh,
foundation.
take your time, girl. I love to
Yes.
hear you speak. Go ahead.
And so they would tell us something like, oh, you need to get married.
Mm-hmm.
And especially by a particular age, and in certain cultures and contexts, if you talk to a guy too much, especially if there's the religious part of associated with it, if there's the cultural orientations, they'll be like, okay, you need to be married. And if by a particular age you're not, people begin to almost look at you like an outcast, like something is wrong with you. So that's
Yep.
another kind of way that we're taught, okay, this is success. And then when you get married, they talk about the kids and not having one because you're selfish, you need more than one. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
laying this foundation because
Mm-hmm.
when we think about purpose,
Mm-hmm.
purpose is not necessarily aligned with these definitions of success, of
Wow.
societal success, of
Mm-hmm.
what looks like success, of what looks like you doing well as a woman.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we're thinking about purpose, it usually or sometimes takes us outside of these norms.
And
Takes
expectations. Yeah.
Yes, takes
Yeah.
us outside of the imposed expectations on us by either family, religion, society.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we're thinking about purpose, we need to begin to think about something that we've not been taught to think about,
Mm-hmm.
something that we've not been indoctrinated to pursue in a particular way. And I'm even excited because I'm actually, I just finished my book on the pursuit of purpose, and I'm
Oh
so
wow.
excited
Oh my
because
goodness.
yeah,
When do you
it
expect it to be out, Nadine?
it will be
Wow.
out in a few months. I could
Mm-hmm.
it's in the editorial process almost done.
Mm-hmm.
So it should be out by May,
Mm-hmm.
June, thereabout. I just want to make sure that I do all the work, the legwork to make sure that it does well,
Mm-hmm.
because it's going to be a game changer for so many women.
Amen.
And
Yeah.
I'm excited about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
make sure you come back and let us know. Make sure you come back and tell us about it here. So that's an open invitation to do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Thank
for
you for
sure.
that. And so when we're
Absolutely.
thinking about that for the ladies, what is that purpose? It's that thing that you're meant to do.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you were not taught that way, that's the reason why I'm excited about the book, Lisa, because it's a rewiring of the mind in terms of how I go about living my life.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so when we're thinking about purpose, people are talking about it. But the thing is, it's so much bigger than the fuss that maybe that's around the place lately about purpose, because purpose is the thing that you're meant to do. It's the
Right.
thing that you have been created to do, designed to do,
Mm-hmm.
destined to do. It's
Mm-hmm.
that thing, and usually that one amazing thing. And if you're a Christian, if you have that faith-based background,
Yeah.
it's that particular thing that God intends for you to do,
Wow. Okay.
something that will actually give you success in the future. Because one
Okay.
of my favorite Bible texts, Jeremiah 29:11, talks about that great expected end that he has for you. I know the plans I have for you. And so when we're thinking about what is that purpose, it is what you have been created to do, what you've been chosen to do, what you've been designed to do.
Yeah.
And many of us go through life never doing it
Mm-hmm.
because we were not taught to look for that. We
Mm-hmm.
were taught to go to school, learn particular subjects, choose a path sometimes of what you want to concentrate on, whether it be sciences or whether it be business or be the languages and the arts and whatever it is, you choose something that you like and you do it well. That's
Okay.
what we've
So
been taught to do. But
great.
purpose takes you more on an internal journey, a journey of finding out my why for existence in this world, and not necessarily me fitting into any mold to succeed.
So I guess that brings us to the next question. How do you find that thing that God created you to do? And I know that's your whole life's purpose, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, finding it is something amazing, right? In the sense that just imagine you're born for something, you're created for that thing, you're destined to succeed in it. And we actually now sadly have to use the pitiful words of finding something that I should already possess.
Oh wow. I was thinking about that when I was typing in this finding purpose. I was wondering whether you meet the thing coming or you already have it. So yeah, go there with us. Yeah. It's not about
Yes, so
finding it.
that's the thing about the beautiful thing
Wow.
about purpose. The prologue of my book, I wish I had pulled it up. In the
Mm-hmm.
prologue of my book, I speak about purpose, for example,
Mm-hmm.
in an essence or in the context of me going on a journey. Actually, it starts with me being in my mother's womb. In fact, even before then, when she and my father met
Mm-hmm.
and their magic happened, and speaking about the sperm being implanted in my mother's womb, that journey begins the journey of purpose for me. Why? Because when you think about it, that's why I tell you, I'm so excited for that book. You're gonna go crazy when you read that prologue, right? Because
Yeah.
I'm thinking a millions of sperms,
Mm-hmm.
it's disseminated from the man's body, and yet it takes just one to be implanted in the womb of a woman
Mm-hmm.
so that a cell can be developed to create a child. I speak of purpose from that emergence. Why? Because purpose is attached to that one sperm that gets locked into that cell that
Mm-hmm.
begins to create you. And so when we're thinking about it, it's really not something that we find, but more something that we are reunited with, because it was there with us even before we were conceived.
Okay. All
It's
right.
something that has been attached to us. It was in the womb with us all of the time. And I speak of purpose, for example, cheering me along in the journey of pushing through and pushing forward and going and going ahead in that race so that I can actually win. So that the other millions, as they get tired and they're let off and they're let off, and that one goes, and then purpose is there cheering me on the sidelines, because purpose knows that I'm destined for something and I need to make it. And
Right.
so each of us, every woman listening right now, must realize that we're all winners.
Yeah.
Because I remember writing a poem many years ago. I cannot find it for the life of me. I don't know where it is.
Oh.
But it's talking about we're all winners because we won our very first race. But I speak about it in the book. And in the why I speak about it like that is because for each of us to get here, we had to win to actually get to the finish line of reaching that egg to be implanted. And purpose does not let go there. I speak of purpose cheering me along to make sure that that implantation is done. And so purpose was there with us from the beginning. We lose it along the way because we've not been indoctrinated to be aligned with ourselves.
All
We've been
right.
indoctrinated to believe that I have to look outside of me to be able to do something that I already have within me.
Right.
And
So
most of us never live a life of purpose because we do not even realize that what we've been indoctrinated to do, while it may bring us success, it does not bring full satisfaction, fulfillment, peace, joy, and the greatest impact we're supposed to have, because we're living out of alignment with what we were brought here to do in the first place. And
mm-hmm.
so, how do we find it? We
Yeah.
begin to go on the pursuit of, why am I here in the world? And I think it goes to some basic questions. I think I covered some of these basic philosophies when we did To All the Girls in October, which
Yeah.
is really, who am I? Go
And
on
I,
that journey.
okay, and I should also add that it's a really big question in your coaching program, which I took and benefited so much from, the Runway to Soar program, that really like goes into who are you, what are you meant to do, and what are your talents, etc. So yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah. And so to find what you already have,
Mm-hmm.
because the fact is you actually do, you may just not be aware of it because of how we've been indoctrinated to think.
Mm-hmm.
And so many times what happens to us is that we we think, okay, especially in a world of today, 2022, where we were experiencing since 2020, especially in 2021, the great resignation, where more and more women are at home and not desiring to go back to the job, and beginning to think of creative ways to have businesses, and some few thinking and realizing that I really now need to kind of revamp my life or restart my life, and I need to do it around the thing I was brought here to do. And how do I find it is the big question, where you begin to look at different, I mean, there's a different journeys, as you would have known through the program, that I take women on in how do I know what that purpose is. But on the basics, I could say it's you now really beginning to unlearn everything that you learned before of what success is,
Mm-hmm.
and now understanding I need to go into a deeper search of why am I here in the world. Begin
Right.
to go on that quest of finding out your why, and not just fitting into any mold of this is what success looks like, and according to society this is it, and if I fall outside of that I'm not successful. When you uncover what you're meant to do in the world, that is where your greatest success lies. That is where you're going to have the greatest impact. It is not just about me experiencing success according to society, but me now living a life that is so aligned with me that even though I'm not paid, like I tell you, I've been traveling all month long and I've been speaking all month long. And I was saying to a friend yesterday, this month of all of the months, I've been doing so much speaking for free. Why? Because I'm doing something I know I'm meant to do, pouring into women. And every time I do it, I feel so energized. It's like I'm
And
paid $1 million.
yeah.
Because I know by the time I'm done, there are seeds planted and there are babies that are going to be birthed out of women, knowing that they're not here in the world by chance. They're here for a specific thing, and they need to find out what it is. And
Mm-hmm.
so purpose does that kind of thing for you, where it gives you drive, it gives you motivation, it gives you energy. Like, I mean, like I have to stop myself from working, because if I had to go with the energy that purpose is fueling in me, I'll
Mhm.
never stop.
Nadine, let me ask you a question. Do you think it's possible to have more than one purpose?
We are gifted, multifaceted human beings. We have a lot of gifts, and especially as women, we have a lot going for us. I can testify for that. There's so many things that I can do well, right? You know, I write, I sing, I do great with decor, I love to cook. There's so many things that I can do. But the mistake sometimes that we make is thinking that all of these things that I can do and do it so well, like I am into the academics, you know, I teach, I love research, I do well at it and all of that. We mistake all of these things that we can do well as, are these things part of my purpose? What I want to say is this: whatever gifts that you have, the skills that you have, the education that you have, the experience that you have, all of these are amazing things. We're never going to put them aside. But when it is we want to really focus on purpose, purpose
Mhm.
usually leads us to this one amazing thing that we're meant to do.
And
And
do better
at
than most
different
people. Mhm.
phases in our lives, different stages in our lives, it may look different. But on a deeper analysis, you'll realize it is connected.
Yeah.
It's always connected. I mean, I never thought in a million years for that I would be traveling around the world as an international speaker. I never thought I could say, oh wow, I've been to over 75 countries, and in most of these countries I've actually spoken, I've done this with women. No, 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 no. If you told me that 10 years ago, I'd be like, you crazy, you lost your mind. But I
Mm.
went to school, I did what I was taught to do, go outside of myself and develop success. So I went to school, I studied, I did well, excelled, etc. But at the end of all of that, when I began to do the work that I ask women to do, which is to begin to ask about the why, at that stage of my life, when I was finishing up my PhD program, I asked God, why am I here? What am I meant to do? I need you to reveal to me what I'm supposed to do, because even though I had a PhD, even though I had done so well and I'd excelled and all of that good stuff, I needed deeper existence. I needed to know that my existence had more to it than me just going to do a job and getting paid for it and paying bills and living in a nice apartment or a nice house and me continuing to travel. I needed more.
Mhm.
Purpose takes you on the pursuit of the more that I want. The more is not about the money. The more is not about anything else like fame and all of that. But guess what? The more may lead you to all of that stuff.
Because you're
And
starting
so
from why? You're starting from a
you
very deep
starting from
sense of
him, why am
purpose.
I here?
All
And
right.
so I began to ask him, I tell him, and I even went as far, and I mentioned that to somebody yesterday and they laughed, but I even went as far as saying to him, if you have no purpose for me, you might as well take me out, because I could not think about just a regular, I couldn't think about, even though I was going to be at a university and all of that, I just couldn't think of, I know I would be making impact in the university, I know I would push students to do research, I know I
Mhm.
would love it because I love research, but I wanted a deeper sense of my, why am I here, what am I meant to do, and
Yeah.
that is the pursuit of purpose.
Okay.
It's
So I.
understanding that no matter how good you are at a million other things, there is this one amazing thing that
Mhm.
you've been brought here in the world to do. And you're not going to be at ease until you're doing it, until you find yourself in alignment with you. Everything
Gee.
else may be great, but it will
Mhm.
be a lack of alignment with who you are and what you are meant to do. And when you're doing that thing, you know it. When it comes into your spirit, the moment it's downloaded, even when you're not doing it yet, there's this overwhelming sense of peace, because it's like, oh, wow, this is it. And when you're doing it, you literally need less energy. You
Yeah.
literally need less of everything, because
Yeah.
it's so aligned with you. It's almost like you emerge because it's always there, but you have
Mhm.
to go in pursuit. You have to find it.
So that brings me to the next question. I'm pretty sure it's a conviction with it with which you say it that has always convinced me to go on that journey and to accept the
Yeah.
results when they do come. Is that conviction of don't just settle for what you do and where you find yourself. Go beyond to find the thing that you were meant to do, to find real purpose. Is that conviction, which is I think obviously the mark of a great speaker, right? And somebody speaking in purpose. So I wanted to ask you on behalf of everybody here, what do you think is the number one indicator of one's purpose? Can you help us out this morning?
The number one indicator that you're living in your purpose.
Oh yeah, or that you or the number one indicator that this is what you were meant to do. So you might not actually be living in it already. Some people are
Yes.
blessed that way already, like you, for example, but some people are hearing this and this is stirring dangerous thoughts of I want more. What might that person want to do in terms of what's the indicator of my purpose? Please let me know, kind of thing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. So some of the indicators I would have kind
Mm-hmm.
of mentioned here, and Lisa, I have a free resource that you can actually send to the
Okay,
ladies.
please, yeah.
Uncover Your Divine Purpose, 7 practical steps to
Okay, great.
connect with your calling. I believe I sent it by email, but I could try to drop it for you in WhatsApp,
Okay,
right?
good. Yeah, if you do that, I can actually
Private
pull it
chat
up
or
here.
something.
Mm-hmm.
I just sent it
Uh,
to you in private chat here,
okay,
and as
great.
I'm going to open my WhatsApp again.
Girl,
So
I
an
just love this
indication.
technology. Oh my goodness, I just absolutely love this technology. I'll put it on the screen. Let's go.
Yeah. So one of
Yeah.
the indicators that you, for example, you living in your purpose. Oh, okay. Or let's just go back to defining it, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of the indicators of what your purpose should be is what I just mentioned a while ago, is that sense of peace that comes to you when it is purpose is revealed, even when you're unaware of it. So, for example, you may be in a job right now,
Mm-hmm.
you are doing well at the job,
Mm-hmm.
you're getting paid for the job, people are telling you you're doing good in the job.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're home, laying down at night, you're feeling like, man, I'm so tired of this job. I just feel like this is not it for me.
Mm-hmm.
There's this feeling of discontentment, dissatisfaction, and regardless of how much money you're making, how much impact you're having, there is this uncomfortable feeling that this is not my life. I know I'm doing well at it, it's not my life. That's an indicator that you're not where you're supposed to be, or you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. Because it's ironic, my ideal client is
Yeah.
women who are successful, who are educated, who are doing great things, but they always have that feeling that this is not it. Something is not right here. I don't know how much money I'm making. I'm doing a lot of good stuff, but it's not here. And you know why I usually work from there? It's because that is where women actually go in that pursuit of my why. Why am I here? Which is the response is about purpose. And so the indicator number one that you're not where you're supposed to be is that constant nagging feeling that no matter how good I'm doing at this, no matter how much money I'm making, no matter what is going on here, when I lay down to rest, I don't feel as if this is it. Some women actually feel as if, and it's the truth, they're living lives that's not theirs, because even though I'm doing good at it, this is not my fit. This is just not where I'm supposed to be. So that's the indicator that you're not living in your purpose. An
Mm-hmm.
indicator of when you're in your purpose is that sense of peace that you get when all of these external things that we've been taught to appreciate are present
Mm-hmm.
or are not present. But you still have so much drive and you feel as if you can wake up every day doing that thing
Yes.
because it is in alignment with your core. It's in alignment with what you're meant to do because it was always there. It was kind of dormant. It's almost like a volcano that's dormant and then it begins to now awaken.
Mm-hmm.
Purpose is within us almost like that. It's dormant because society suppressed its education, formal education, that I'm a proponent of because I'm an educator, but it suppresses and societal expectations and family expectations and norms and status quos and all of these things push and push and push purpose to the bottom that we don't even realize it's there
Okay, so I have one
until
more.
we begin to search.
No problem. Nadine, I know I put up the resource, but people can go to your website, right? NadineCollins.com.
.com,
Yeah?
yeah, and you can
Okay.
find free resources
The,
there.
the free
This
resources are
one
there.
here is specific about purpose. Yeah, I
Okay.
just put it in the
There we
chat
go.
for you.
NadineCollins.com. Okay, let's go. I just put it up
Yes.
there and let me show it on the screen. So you can go there and find that. I have one more question because we have just a couple more minutes. I want
Okay.
to ask you about finding your own purpose. How did you come to how did you come to realize that? I know you've had a lovely career even in banking before you left St. Lucia, and now you live overseas and literally are traveling the world. Every time I text you, you are somewhere else in the world. Okay, like you on you. That's, so how did you come to recognize purpose? We have just a couple minutes.
Okay, I'll do this quick. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so part of it is what I already mentioned, where
Mm-hmm.
I did everything the way I was told to do it. In fact, I didn't start that way. Let me just backtrack for anybody who's here and
Mm-hmm.
who feels like, I'm behind in life. I didn't fall in line with everything people were expecting of me at the time. Because after I graduated from high school, I still stayed in St. Lucia 9 years to work because I really wasn't falling in line with the status quo. But then I wanted to go to college because that was the way out. That's the way they said, you need to get success. And so I went to college. I did my undergrad, my master's, my PhD. But at the end of that journey, it's where I began to ask God about the why. What is my purpose for now? I could have looked back on my life and saw where I made significant contributions, to campus and to here and there. But I felt as if there was something I needed to do for now. And so I began to search and I began to pray and I began to search and I began to pray because I was feeling there was a greater calling on my life, but I did not know what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Mind you, that's around the time when I told God, if He had no purpose, take me out. I remember I was done. The next day I graduated. I traveled on vacation. And while I'm on vacation in London, for example, I'm getting calls, people asking me to speak. And I'm thinking, what? Where that come from? Right? Then the next week I go somewhere else to sing and another invitation comes for me to speak again and stuff like that. And I'm thinking, where is that? Where is that coming from? And it's there that led me to a deeper search, fasting and praying, asking God, why am I
Yeah.
here? What am I meant to do? And Him saying to me that I want you to write books on prayer and I want you to do this. And so my purpose was revealed, in essence, cutting it short. My
Mm-hmm.
purpose was revealed after I went on that quest of really searching out through prayer, fasting, and so on. What am I meant to do right now?
Okay.
Because at different phases in our lives, we are called to something higher. And so I knew that I felt the discomfort in me and I needed to know why. And the peace came when the revelation came. This is what you're meant to do.
Okay. So I'm so sorry. We definitely will be back.
That's okay.
This is a dangerous conversation because it starts people thinking. I always call it dangerous because those kinds of conversations make you go deeper, and you're not really ready for the superlative in your life per se, but you hear and you're hearing this, so there must be a purpose for it. So thank you, Nadine, for just sharing from your life experience and expertise with us this morning. And people can check you out on NadineCollins.com. There are lots of resources there. All her programs are there. And Nadine, remind us of your Facebook group again. We're big on sharing the love here in the To All the Girls Success Club.
I wish I pulled up the link. It's Wow
Yeah.
Women Leadership and Empowerment.
Okay. Wow,
Yeah,
women. Okay.
I'll see
Leadership
if I find it
and
for you. But I mean,
empower.
if the ladies want to, I guess, just be reminded or be around
Mhm.
women who are really pursuing purpose, then
Yeah.
definitely it's a place to join. And I was really excited to be here with you, ladies. I know,
Yeah.
Lisa, you've been doing great things this Women's Month with them. And I wish every woman, I hope the
Mm-hmm.
resource assists them in uncovering their purpose, the
Mm-hmm.
resource that we shared, so that
Mm-hmm.
more of them can just be on that journey of finding purpose, because it's the greatest place for us to be, and it's our time right now for us to do
Mm-hmm.
it. Women, it's our time right now to do it.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Okay, everybody, you can go follow me on IG at Lisa M. Dublin. If you're a woman and you're not in the To All the Girls Success Club, you will not be seeing some of this going forward. So please send an invite to the To All the Girls Success Club on Facebook. You can also join, as Nadine was saying, her own Facebook group, Wow Women Leadership and Empowerment on Facebook. There are communities where even if you don't have a coach per se in your face every week, you can get mentorship from afar. You can get coaching from afar. It's groups like this one, To All the Girls, etc., that can help you to get where you have to be and to walk in purpose. So thank you, everyone, and have a wonderful day. And Nadine, man, thank you so much for rocking with me. I appreciate it, girl.
Yes, thanks for having me. God bless
Mm,
you, and the work that you continue to do with
thank
the ladies.
you.